There's an self-evident reason why the sixth scene of Netflix's 7-part documentary America's Sweethearts, Dallas Cowpokes Cheerleaders, is titled 9 to 5. Set within the drop of 2023, it features Dolly Parton performing her hit at the Cowboys' Thanksgiving diversion halftime appear, dressed in full cheerleader formal attire. But there's a few subtext to the title as well. The subject melody to Parton's cult comedy of the same title, in which 3 put-upon working ladies sees their sexist, twisted boss, 9 to 5, incorporates verses like, "Barely getting by, it's all taken, and no given / they fair utilize your intellect, and they never deliver you credit / it's sufficient to drive you insane on the off chance that you let it." By this point within the arrangement, coordinated and official, delivered by the productive Netflix sports documentarian Greg Whiteley, this regret has significant resonance. America's Sweethearts is a pure approximately women's work, and its questionable rewards, like Dallas Cowpokes Cheerleaders, making the group, the long-running CMT reality, appear that wrapped in 2022, it takes after DCC chief and alum Kelly Finglass, as she limits down hundreds of skilled artists to an first-class squad of 36. But in a welcome flight from its peppy forerunner, the compassionate, attentive, but uneven doc keeps cameras prepared on the cheerleaders all through the football season, capturing their individual lives, the penances they make, and the overwhelming, precarious, often difficult labor of cherish that keeps them crushing from, well, sometime recently 9 to way after 5. Whiteley makes sports documentaries that, in spite of their numerous rousing minutes, think on the tremendous remove between the American dream of meritocracy and an American reality checked by disparity, vain endeavoring, and misused ability. From the community college competitors of Last Chance, U and Cheer, to the bruise-covered fighters of wrestlers battling Ohio Valley Wrestling, his subjects tend to be underdogs. The Dallas Cowpokes Cheerleaders appear, to begin with, like a takeoff for Whiteley. They are, after all, the foremost iconic cheerleading squad within the world. But they're moreover female entertainers in an organization built to celebrate male competitors and fulfill macho fans, which suggests their lives are no place close as glitzy as they might appear. America's Sweethearts' most noteworthy commitment is to put DCC's open profile in setting. Whiteley spends bounty of time archiving the cheerleaders' ability and exactness as athletes, the synchronization, the stamina, the agonizing hot parts that the squad seem never consider stopping since the fans cherish them so much. Indeed, in case you had no earlier intrigued within the dawn, a full-length execution of their signature thunderstruck routine is a wonder to observe. However, it's apparent all through the series that DCC's flawlessness may be an item of the fanatical compulsiveness forced upon the ladies by Finglass, choreographer Judy Trammell, and their colleagues. For numerous of the would-be cheerleaders, which means being as picky approximately their appearance and charm as they are around their moving, ladies get dinged for being as well brief, too scrawny, insolent conditioned, or missing expert-level cosmetics aptitudes. Is that bronzer or structural? Kelly ponders approximately a flaw on the forehead of a rookie at training camp, who is, before long after, cut from the group. There is a part of hand-wringing around how unforgiving DCC's famous uniform of edited vest, midsection best, star-spangled hot pants, and knee-high rancher boots can be to the female frame. But no one ever appears to be inquiring themselves why it ought to be the ladies who must alter their bodies to fit that uniform, not the other way around. A feminist-minded watcher might tie herself in ties attempting to unwind the shows and the squad's gender legislative issues, and Whiteley merits credit for doing equity to that complexity. Everybody who makes the group is appeared to be a perfect competitor, having exceptional ability, quality, and teach. The line isolating physical wellness, a fundamental work prerequisite, from aesthetics can be lean. And opposite to what you might anticipate of excellent ladies competing for the male look of a country, The hopefuls come off as exceptionally kind to and strong of one another. However, there isn't much organization back for cheerleaders whose mental well-being or nourishment issues are exacerbated by the upsetting climate of preparing camp. Victoria, a powerless second-generation DCC ingenious whose unconcealed longing for the endorsement of Kelly and her colleagues may well be fair, the thing that's pushing them absent has a particularly disappointing circular segment. You might protest that all proficient sports make undesirable requests of the competitors who play them. Greatness contains a cost. Whereas Whiteley's publication hand is light, America's Sweethearts seems to expect this kind of pushback to its delineation of master cheerleading as interestingly rebuffing work. Men may destroy their bodies playing football or be disregarded by the NBA since they aren't 7 feet tall. But no one anticipates them to fulfill each fan's daydream. As sweet surrogate granddaughters to the nursing home inhabitants we see DCC visit, part models to the small young ladies who idolize them, sweet to folks of all socioeconomics. Isn't America's Sweethearts, which is additionally the squad's epithet, fair an interesting way of saying America's girlfriends? That consideration can turn alarming. In 9 to 5, Kelsey, a 5-year experienced and the team's most regarded pioneer, describes the time a stalker put an AirTag on her car so that he seen track her developments. Afterward, a picture taker grabs Sophie whereas she's on the field amid the diversion. She responds absolutely as she's gathered to, announcing him to specialists through tears. Somehow, in spite of the fact that the police rarely seem to discover adequate. You'd think the cattle rustlers would at slightest compensate these entertainers at a level commensurate with their aptitudes, obligations, and perceivability. Whiteley finds that this can be not the case. Whereas the foremost profoundly paid NFL players make upwards of $50 million a year, 2022 DCC alum cat compares her compensation to that of a Chick-fil-A laborer who works full-time. Past eras earned indeed less, $15 or $35 per amusement for a part they caught on as privileged. Inquired approximately the pay issue, Charlotte Jones, the Cowboys' chief brand officer and girl of proprietor Jerry Jones, meanders condescendingly. There's a part of criticism around pay for NFL cheerleaders, as it ought to be. They're not paid a lot, but the actualities are, they really do not come here for the money. They come here for something that's really greater than that to them. They have a passion for move. There are not a parcel of openings within the field of move to urge to perform at an first-class level. It is approximately being a portion of something greater than themselves. It is almost a sisterhood that they are able to create, almost connections that they have for the rest of their life. They have a chance to feel like they are esteemed, they are uncommon, and they are making a contrast. When the ladies come here, they discover their passion and they discover their purpose. Low pay, long hours. At one point we're told the cheerleaders are working for 21 straight days amid a performance-packed occasion season. Expanded powerlessness to sexual savagery. The desire that reason and camaraderie ought to make up for being woefully underestimated. On the off chance that you're recognizable with the word related risks of women's work, it all begins to sound beautiful commonplace. A representation rises of NFL cheerleading as the extreme pink collar work, with numerous of the same downsides as nursing or educating. It's no shock to memorize that numerous of the ladies on the squad support themselves with day employments in healthcare. America's Sweethearts doesn't fault its subjects for tolerating such destitute treatment. It tenderly guides us to address why ladies who love and exceed expectations in female-dominated careers are anticipated to give up perpetually for them. Whiteley's subtlety can work brilliantly because it does in his portrayal of Finglass, who was an executive maker, together with Charlotte Jones, of making the team but not America's Sweethearts, who comes off as a no-nonsense, in spite of the fact that never completely cold, lady circumscribed by her claim demanding guidelines. But there are minutes when his approach isn't very so successful. A few early cuts recommend that DCC's favored move styles and beauty guidelines put ladies of color at an impediment, in spite of the fact that the appear doesn't spend much time getting to know the squad's modest bunch of non-white cheerleaders. The series scattered finalities up the football season, but doesn't bring much topical closure. And scene surrounded by a megachurch preacher's request that God cherishes Dallas highlights numerous squad members' Christian confidence, but the association between cheerleading and Jesus remains an unfinished thought. By distant the predominant of the two series, America's Sweethearts makes an successful coda and a willfully required remedial to the context-free glamour of making the group. Freighted with family legacies, enormous desire, and instability almost their post-DCC prospects, the youthful ladies it spotlights come off as more than photogenic bodies. At best, they're competitors working at the pinnacle of their dawn, at most exceedingly bad,